How does being an author help your business? Does it and has it? Or the being seen as an author? What does that do for you? For yourself, for your business, for your... I don't want to lay words in your mouth, so let me hear from you. Vida.
So personally, it's one of my manifestations come true for a start, and something that I remember for years and years and years, and I don't really go for psychic readings myself anymore, and I haven't really for years. But from a very young age, every single time that I've gone for a psychic reading, or even sometimes a healing, the person would say, "You're going to write a book one day. You're going to publish a book." And this has been going on for years. Like talking from since I was 18, right?
Wow.
And so at some point I was going, okay, well, this is obviously one of my life goals is to be a best-selling author. And I had no idea how that would come about or the capacity or what that would even look like. I briefly looked into it a few years ago, explored it. I mean, no, it's not quite what I'm looking for. So for me, on a personal level, it kind of ticked one of the things off that I had on my manifestation list. Once I started getting more serious, once people started saying, "Oh, we want you to write a book," and I had more and more people saying, "Can you write a book?" I was like, "Okay." To listen to this, I became more conscious of, okay, this is something I want to do, and that really escalated or fast-tracked the process. From a business perspective, I feel it's exposure. Um, there's also, I feel a level of authenticity and vulnerability there where people get to see the person behind the business. Because I think we see so much in the world of, especially in social media, everybody's like got their life sorted out, right? And you see all the pretty pictures and you see all the wins and you see all the good experiences, and you can have this as well. But very few people really see the reality of how people actually got there.
Mm.
And the breakdowns they had and how they had to have divine rebirths and how they worked with miracles to actually take those steps and actions to get to where they are, to be able to do what they do. So I feel like from a business perspective, it keeps you real. It shows that you're also just another person and another human, and there's a rawness and a realness there. And I know for myself, that's always what would have drawn me if I'm going to work with someone. That is what draws me into working with them. I want to see the person. I don't want to see a polished version of them. Obviously, they're going to give a polished version, but you want to see that there's a person behind it. And I think that's probably one of the biggest benefits of writing a book is people get to see the person behind the story and the ups and downs and the emotions and all the feelings and all the things that went into it. And of course, once you are part of a book that goes bestseller or international bestseller, it means you are your name is now worldwide. So from a business perspective, you've just gone global, right? And that can only be a benefit.
Yes.
I think that can only be a good thing for any business. So it but also on a very practical level, apart from the visibility, it cuts through all those layers where maybe you wouldn't have wanted to be seen because suddenly you're very seen, very,
Yes.
very seen. And it's so out of your control and a level that it doesn't feel threatening.
Mm.
Doesn't feel threatening. Yeah.
I love
So
that.
I feel it's a safe way to step out, actually.
Mm. And isn't it wonderful how when we really step out and share from our hearts, how that vulnerability, it is it's so transformational. it's a huge transformation every time we write a story about
Yeah.
our own true life experiences. And
Changes you.
it changes you. It changes you. Even though you think that you have worked through something 1,000 times already, you're already healed that, you already did that, write your story. It's a whole nother
Changes you.
level. Yeah.
It does, and it brings out something very different inside of you. Um, and each book brings out something different inside of you. Each one, like you sort of kind of go, oh, I've done this before. And then it goes international bestseller, and you're like, oh my God, yeah. You know, that's got a really feel good feeling to it because it's like it gives you that level of confidence to just show up a little bit more. And I think that's something a lot of people struggle with, even in business, is
Mm.
being able to show up a little bit more. And I think it just gives you that confidence. It's like, well, I'm see now, I'm here. It
Yeah.
You kind of get to land.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. What about you, Tara?
I I think it's a great way, okay, business wise, it's a great way because you're producing in a way almost like a living bio. You know, if somebody really wants to find out anything about you, go to your author page. As an author, you have an author page. They can look at your books, they can read them. It's also a little bit like a jump board or a spring that you have then to go in different directions of where you want to go. It's like you lay the foundation business wise of, okay, I've I've completed this, I've contributed to this book, that book, the other book. You know, perhaps if I wanted to speak on something, you can reference back to the story that you wrote in the book that used that particular topic. That's quite handy and great to have. And nobody can ever take your book away from you or your story. It's like it's there and it is archived. It will be for future generations. How lovely, to have that. So yes, I agree with Vida with the visibility and future opportunities, and also I believe that some people can take you a little bit more serious then when they can see that actually you have um, wrote this book or contributed. Like you've become an international bestseller, that you've gone through that process, and people in the field know that, they get that. So, they're more likely then maybe to invite you to something then, which just really helps your work as well.